Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Black Leather Couch. This episode's guest is Johnny Leftwich. He's a makeup effects artist and an actor and a musician. I met Johnny a few years ago when we worked on a project together. But now he's a contestant on season 10 of SyFy's Face Off. So we talk a little bit about that. We talk about his history, where he came from, how he got started, everything like that. Team Johnny. Give it a watch and enjoy. So I'll fuck it up along the way, but I don't care.
What's your favorite amp to use?
Yeah. What guitar do you... Wait a minute. That's not right. All right, so... Thank you for doing this, by the way.
Absolutely.
We can just jump right in, because I don't have any creative bridge to go with this
Sure,
stuff.
let's do it.
So, where are you from? Where were you born?
I was born in Burbank, California.
Oh, okay.
And I moved to just south of Richmond, Virginia, Colonial Heights, Virginia, when I was 3 years old, by myself.
Packed up, stick on the shoulder.
I was like, screw this Burbank crap, I'm out of here. Going to Richmond.
I think that's what all 3-year-olds are.
Yeah, I mean, once you hit that age, you start to realize,
Parents are useless.
Where you are might not be for you. So.
Yeah. Why did you guys move here?
Mostly because my dad, his parents lived here, and they were very like, come back. Yeah. And there was the whole, at that time, LA, as opposed to Colonial Heights, Virginia, wasn't the best place to raise a kid, and crime and earthquakes and all that stuff.
And now, ironically, it's flip-flopped.
Oh yeah. Well, now definitely, certainly for me, LA is the place to be.
Yeah.
And not Colonial Heights, at least.
Yeah. What did your parents do? What did they?
Well, at that time, my dad was tending bar and acting, and my mom was, I don't think she was a nurse yet, or I don't know. Nursing for her started around that time, I believe. So she may have been a nurse.
Gotcha. But so basically something they could do anywhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
They didn't have to get new training or anything like that.
Right.
When you were in school and stuff like that, what were you into? Like, were you a music kid, a drama kid?
Well, I was definitely not a math kid, I'll tell you that much. Math is just like the worst thing in like when I start looking at numbers or like dealing with extensive paperwork, like my eyes just kind of glaze over and like I just pass out. But I also wasn't really like an artistic kid. I always had an interest in art. Like it was like magic to me. Like, how do you take like a pencil and a piece of paper and make like this world?
Yeah.
So I was always really interested in it, but never really had visual artistic training. Well, I guess, all right, so to answer your question more directly, in 5th grade, I started playing stand-up bass in strings. In 6th grade...
For school, though.
For school,
not
yeah.
Like a...
Not just like, Dad, I want to stand up bass. But like, for school in the strings class. And then in 6th grade, I started playing tuba. And I played tuba... And I was good at it, man. I played tuba 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
My little brother played tuba. My little brother played tuba. I played trombone, and my middle brother played trumpet.
Okay.
So we were the makings of a ska band.
Yeah.
If we were ever so inclined, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I played tuba 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I was in band. And I have medals and shit from playing tuba.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So,
I went to Paris with it, but I couldn't play for shit.
Well, how'd you get to Paris?
They needed bodies for the marching band.
Okay. Well, that's still pretty cool.
It's cool.
And then in 10th grade, I made the transition from music to theater. So I changed my I was about to say major. That's not. I changed my elective from one of my electives from band to drama. And then so that was 10th, 11th, and 12th grade.
Gotcha. So, but during that you weren't in art stuff or anything really, or
That was the extent of my art stuff.
yeah.
I was really into movies and music and all that stuff on my own time, and I wanted, I always had an interest in like drawing and painting and actually, sculpting and, all of that kind of hands-on kind of making art stuff.
Yeah.
But my issue was, I would try it, like I would start, and I had a good enough eye to see that what I was doing sucked, and so I was like, screw
Nope,
this,
done. Yeah.
This sucks, I can't do this.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. so that's why I later pursued it, to actually like, all right, I want to do this, I'm going to get training in it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to sit my ass in a class and learn,
Yeah.
because I want to be able to do it. Like it's I knew that fulfilling moment was there, I just wasn't able to reach it.
Yeah.
So
I'm an excellent artist. All right, what is it?
I have an excellent artist in me.
There's an excellent artist in me. No, there's I'm an excellent sculptor. It's just I have shitty chiseling skills.
Right, exactly.
I'm a brilliant painter, but it's my god awful brush strokes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a Tosh thing, I think he said. But all right, so you said you were into the music, you were into the art, you were into that thing. Is there something that like a movie or a album or something that like completely changed your direction and your thoughts on it, or was it more of a cumulative over time thing that you knew you wanted to, or there's a movie you saw and you're like, holy crap, I want to be able to do that?
Well, there's kind of two moments.
Okay.
And actually, now that we're talking about that in like my childhood, I realized I came out to Virginia when I was 3. Not true. It was when I was 9 months old, and then when I was 3, my parents split. That's what that was.
Gotcha.
Okay, so coming back.
Reverse.
Just had to correct that. Okay, so when I was, I believe 3, I was really little, my dad showed me Frankenstein.
The original.
The original, yeah. My dad was always a big movie buff. Horror specifically, Universal horror, those were like, if there were deities in my home growing up, they were Frankenstein, Wolfman, Mummy,
Gotcha.
Dracula. And then the lesser gods were the Invisible Man and Phantom of the Opera.
Well,
Creature. But, so...
So you got that influence from your dad then?
Yeah,
is what
totally.
You're saying. Okay.
Totally. I mean, he had just like walls.
Well, you said he was an actor, so that makes
Yeah.
sense too, because people that are into it typically are into it.
Yeah,
like they're not
totally.
just
And
I'm an actor, but I don't really watch movies.
Right.
Or
Right.
yeah.
No, he could have been like a film historian.
Yeah.
He had a very, very extensive knowledge, and especially of horror. And Frankenstein, so like films, he had a wide interest in films. And then on top of that, it was horror, was more specialized, and then like the king subject matter that sat on top was Frankenstein's monster.
Gotcha.
And the Frankenstein films.
Well, there's a new one coming out too.
I heard this.
Yeah,
I heard this.
it's got the guy that played Xavier in the X-Men movies and Daniel Radcliffe. Can't remember what that dude's name is.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart.
No, the other one. They played the younger version.
Younger one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the British guy. I
Okay.
don't know. But yeah, so that's supposedly coming out soon too. So.
Okay. Yeah.
They just keep trying to. You can't. You got to retell the stories a different way, I guess, over time. But
I mean, I like Daniel Radcliffe. I think he's a capable actor, but also, I mean, you can put a really great actor in a really crappy movie, and it's still gonna be a crappy movie.
Many times we've seen it.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope it's good.
Yeah. But, sorry.
No.
I deviated.
Yeah. No. Let's do a lot of that.
Oh yeah. So he was big into movies, and that started you down that path.
Yeah, and specifically when he showed me Frankenstein, I was very, very young, and I remember that night, like, he's putting me to bed, and I'm like, don't close the door and turn off the light. I'm not, no way. This is not happening. And, because I was scared, like, because to me, the monster was real.
Yeah.
Like, I saw it. I saw it on the screen. It's real. How is that not real? And so I basically, like, demanded to know. Like, don't just tell me that it's not real. Tell me why it's not real. Tell me how it's not real. How is that not real? And so he explained to me the whole process of how it was done. And he told me about Jack Pierce and how he created that makeup on Boris Karloff, who's a very nice man, and he's not a monster. And
I gotcha.
so, okay,
So he broke it down.
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, I can wrap my head around that, I guess.
At 3 years old, he broke it down.
Yeah, because I've always been very like, what is this? What is this? What is this? How does all this work? Like, don't bullshit me. What's going on here? So yeah, that piqued my interest. I never did anything with it until after high school, when I actually moved from Colonial Heights back out to Southern California, Monrovia, finished high school there. I was living with my sister. I did that because I hated Colonial Heights. It's just a small town and there's nothing going on except, just big trucks and Confederate flags.
I was just about to say, that's...
Like, I don't...
Pulling into a parking lot and hanging out is what I've seen, so...
Not my thing.
Yeah.
So, and I had an opportunity to get out, and I took it.
How did your sister make it out there?
My sister was, she's my half-sister. She's my mom's kid. We have the same mom.
Oh, gotcha.
And
is that where your mom was at the time? Was out there?
No, she was in Colorado.
Oh.
Actually, I moved in with my mom first.
Gotcha.
And then she ended up moving from where she was and moving out to California.
Oh, okay.
And then instead of, like, I couldn't stay with her where she was in California, and my sister was out there, so I moved in with my sister.
I gotcha.
So lots of moving and weird stuff happening.
Fairly nomadic.
Yeah, to this day. To this day. What the hell? Where was I?
You were...
Broke down the Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything with it until after high school.
There you go.
Moved out to California.
There it is.
Yes.
Back on track.
Yeah. And so in high school in Virginia, my best friend Dustin and I, we were like, it was kind of like me and him against the world a lot of the time, because, like I said, Colonial Heights High School, it was just kind of, for the most part, big trucks and Confederate flags and work boots and woodland camouflage, and like we were like black clothes. Like, okay, so when I first met Dustin, I met him in my drama class, and he had long bleach blonde hair and was wearing a long sleeve fishnet shirt with a reflective stripe down the sleeve. And
like you do.
Literally rose tinted glasses.
Oh Lord!
And I was like,
was this right around the time Interview with the Vampire came out?
It was a bit after, I think, but I could certainly see the influence. And a Racer X T-shirt over the.
Oh, gotcha.
Over the fishnet shirt.
All right.
You couldn't have gotten away with just the fishnet shirt.
No, I'm probably yeah.
But I was like, who is this guy? And so we became friends, and after high school, we stayed in touch. I went to California. I graduated high school there, barely. I basically talked my way into a diploma, but I got it. And then after that, moved out to New Jersey with him, where he had a job at his grandmother's strip club as a DJ.
I'm just gonna let that one ride on its own.
She wasn't dancing, but she did own it.
Okay, that's the makings of a sitcom or an episode of Fargo or something. I'm not sure how that's...
Something. So I moved in with him, and I worked as security at the club. And we were very aware of the fact that, like, this is cool. We're like 18, 19, 20, working at a strip club, making decent money.
Yeah.
And, living on our own. So this is great for right now. But what do we want to do with our lives?
Yeah.
And, we knew it wasn't going to be a desk job. We knew it wasn't going to be, like, in an office building, anything like that. Like,
no math, apparently.
No math. No math. That's number one rule, no math.
No accounting, because that's all math.
Right. No accounting. We need to be able to hire people to do that
stuff. There you go.
So, but we also wanted to, love what we do and make, not only make a living of it, but be proud of it and, have our
the American dream kind of
thing. Yeah, totally. And what we came to was film. We want to make movies. And, like, all aspects, like writing, acting, directing, producing, editing, all that stuff. So what is going to get us there? how are we going to do that?
And that was all while you were in Jersey.
Yeah.
Kind of. Gotcha.
Yeah. I was 19, I think, 20, 19. 18 and 19. And then, so that's what we decided. We were like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And then we'll figure everything out along the way. And so I ended up the next year moving back down to Virginia with my dad. And he joined the military. Yeah.
Late in life.
Yeah, well.
Or later in life.
He was, 20, 21. But basically, you know, he had come to a point where he had some options in front of him, and one of them was the military, and that would ultimately pay for his film school.
Oh. Sorry, gotcha. I thought you meant you moved in with your dad, and your dad decided to go to the military. And then I was like, then he said he was 21. I'm like, wait, what?
there was some time travel happening.
That's a much more interesting story than where I was going.
Yeah, no, I guess the word
gotcha.
he is applicable to
Gotcha.
both of those characters in the story. But
completely lost right there.
No, Dustin.
Gotcha.
My friend Dustin.
All right, so he decided to go in the military.
Yeah, he joined the military because it would eventually pay for film school.
Gotcha.
And I was at a point in my life where I was like, you know, I was living in Richmond. I moved out of my dad's place. I tried to be there as little as possible, even if it just meant getting out of Colonial Heights going to Richmond, because Richmond is a city. You know, there's like
hub.
stuff happening.
Yeah.
So I was living there. I was in a metal band. And
what did you play? Bass?
Bass, yeah. And I was living with a guy that I met at a gas station. And it was, but he was awesome. He was very cool. But I was working at this pizza place for like a week, and then the clocks changed, and I showed up like an hour early for work, I think, and then I went back, and I don't know. It was a time discrepancy thing, and I had an argument with my boss because my boss was like, well, you should have been here at this time. And I was like, I was, and nobody was here. So point being, I can't have regular jobs. And so I didn't have...
Daylight savings time apparently is not your friend.
Really screwed me up. But neither is just working in a regular place.
Yeah,
like, that's not my friend either. So point being... I got fired, and then I was like having this moment where I'm sitting in this house in Richmond, and things are not going my way, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I gonna do? Because I can't just have a regular job.
Yeah.
I can't just continue doing this because I'm running out of money, and unfortunately, money is a necessity.
Yes.
So what am I gonna do? And I was talking to my sister on the phone and kind of telling her all this, and she was like, why don't you go to that school that you told me about? And I told her I'd seen in Fangoria magazine an ad for Tom Savini School.
Which is up in Philly?
Just southwest of Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I think southwest, yeah. So I was like, well, okay, that would be cool, but I can't really just go to school. Like, I don't have any money, and I don't know how to set all that shit up. Like, you know, again, paperwork, I'm just like, oh, God, why? Somebody else do it. So she did. She helped me with that.
Oh.
She helped me get all that stuff set out. And
Is she still living in California at the time?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
She lives in Colorado now. I'm not sure if she was in California or Colorado.
But no, she didn't never come here. Is what I was getting at.
No, she didn't.
Gotcha.
She didn't know. So I went to Tom Savini School. Started out really strong, and totally fucked up my fourth semester and failed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I just like the town there is just like this desolate, like industrial wasteland. Like it's a coal town.
Yeah.
There's a coke refinery factory there.
Yeah.
And in the 60s, it was like booming.
Oh yeah.
And then by I think the 80s, business just dried up. Like that factory used to employ like 2,000 people or something, and then when I was there, it employed 200.
Jeez.
So when that happened, everybody just left. Like you can go down the main street and look in the windows of businesses, and it literally looks like people just went fuck this and left. Like there's papers on desks and just like abandoned buildings everywhere.
Jeez.
Which is cool aesthetically.
Yeah.
For like a week, and then after that, it's like this is really depressing.
Yeah, I bet. Holy shit.
So there was that, and there was the fact that I was in like a really difficult relationship, and like just a bunch of factors went into my terrible mental state and me stopping showing up for class.
Oh, jeez.
So, but I will say, they do push people through there sometimes, which
even if you bomb.
Even if you bomb, but you have to show up. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't showing up.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if I was going to graduate until graduation day when I got pulled into the I almost said principal's office, the president's office, and we had a long discussion. He was like, "You started out really strong. What happened?" And I told him, and long discussion. And I said, "All right, so am I going to graduate or not?" And he goes, "No." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll be back to finish, when I can." And he goes, "Well, I don't have a crystal ball. You're welcome to come back anytime you want, but 90% of people who say that never come back." I'm like, "All right, see you around." And so I moved out to LA. Actually, from there, I came back down to Richmond. I worked with Fangoria in Richmond for a while.
That's right. Yeah, I remember vaguely hearing things like that, or seeing things like that online.
Yeah, which I believe is how I met Fabian. Actually, no, I met Fabian first in 2007 when I was in that metal band.
Oh, okay.
Because we were playing venues.
Similar venues.
Homicidal Threat, the band I was in,
Ah.
was playing venues in Richmond that Synthetic Nightmare
I gotcha.
was playing. So we met that way.
Okay.
But then Fabian was also into like the movie stuff in Richmond.
Yeah.
And you and I met
Yeah.
through Fangoria.
Yeah. Through all that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's actually
timelines.
Yeah, that's that point in the story, in
Gotcha.
our story. Enter Carlton and Fabian.
Dun dun dun.
So I moved out to LA in 2011. Also in 2011, my dad died, closely followed by my grandfather, which left me with a good chunk of change as an inheritance. And I used that to go back out to LA. I worked Halloween Horror Nights 2011 in LA. Then in 2012, I didn't have a job. My schedule was open. I had the money to do it. So I decided I'm going to go back and make good on my word with Jeff, the president of the school.
Yeah.
And I did. I went back and I finished the classes that I had failed, retook them, finished them, got my degree. And
what is that degree called, by the way?
That is called an Associate's in Specialized Business degree.
Oh, really?
I believe, yes.
Oh, okay. So it's not like
Masters of Special Effects.
Yeah.
No.
Makeup artist guy.
Yeah.
Or anything. Yeah.
So like a couple weeks before graduation, I went and I got a crystal ball, a literal crystal ball, and I had it like mounted on this base with a plaque with a quote by Yogi Berra, which is "The future ain't what it used to be." And so it's like this little crystal ball, and I had it like, I'm in my like cap and gown, and everybody's similarly dressed, and we're going into the auditorium, whatever, for graduation. And I just have this thing palmed at my side, and we file in and take our seats, and I like sit it down by my foot, and the guy next to me is like, "What's happening?" And so when he called out my name, he's calling out the names, handing out the degrees, calls my name, and I go up, and he hands me my degree, and I hand him this crystal ball, and I'm like, "Now you never have to say you don't have a crystal ball."
That's awesome. How did he react?
He was like, he he was very proud of me.
Yeah.
And took a moment to tell everyone the story.
Oh, that's cool. Now, so they called you up individually. It wasn't like a Billy, Jimmy, and then they just hand them and you go one end to the other, or
kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
how big was the graduating class?
What was it? I want to say like 20, 30.
Oh, okay. So small.
I'm not really sure.
Small enough to pause and tell the story.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was my graduating class just from the makeup effects program, but they also have like Cosmo and there's other programs.
I got you.
But yeah, so I did that, and so I finished school. I finished that, and then I took Dorian Clevenger's fantasy illustration program. So I learned to paint finally, like an actual painting, and then I took Steve Johnson's From Page to Screen, which was the only full semester that class happened. So that was kind of a just one of those really cool timing things where I ended up there and he ended up there, and
oh, cool.
You know, he did Ghostbusters. He worked on American Werewolf in London, like a lot of the movies that
you grew up on then too.
Yeah, a lot of the movies that I really, really liked a lot and inspired me, and then he's teaching a class there, and I'm like, yeah, I can spend 4 more months here for this. So,
yeah, I'll make that happen.
Yeah, so I did.
Cool.
Yeah.
So now you get all that done. You're back out. Well, at this point, you're still. Was that all still in Pittsburgh?
That was at the school.
All in the same school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it all happened.
But one right
after
after the other. Okay.
Yep.
And then from there, did you move back out?
I did. I moved from there. That was 2013, fall. Yeah, like September 2013. I moved from there to downtown LA. Lived at the brewery for a few months. Yeah.
Was that when you started on like doing? Because I know you were a part of a couple like films and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in school, and again, this is when I had like money. I saw a Kickstarter campaign that Tom Woodruff Jr. was doing for a film called Fire City.
Okay.
And so I think most people watching this probably understand what a Kickstarter is, but basically, you know, you throw some money at it.
If they don't, I don't want them watching.
All right, just turn it off now if you haven't heard of this.
If you've never heard of Kickstarter, then you're not. Yeah. We don't need you.
So if you do, you get it. So I was like, all right, scroll.
Now, is this while did you find that while you were here or while you were there?
While I was in school finishing all my other stuff.
Gotcha. But it was going on out in LA.
In LA, yeah. Or it was going to.
Going to, yeah.
Yeah. So I looked at that and I'm like, okay, well, I'll be out in LA by the time this is happening, and I have some money to throw at this, so I'm going to do it. So I did. And that got me in touch with them. And I was looking at, like, for the amount of money that I put into it, basically the reward, I think, was executive producer credit. But then I looked at one of the other awards for the same amount of money, and it was be in the movie as a demon. And so, you know, I started talking to them, and I was like, hey, so I noticed that one of the other perks for the same amount of money was to be in the movie. If you have somebody for that already, that's cool. If you need someone, I'd be more than happy to make that work.
Yeah.
And so like, okay, yeah, we could probably do that. And since I am 6'7", I've been looking into for a long time, you know, trying to get roles in movies as, you know, a creature, like creature suit work.
Yeah.
Brian Steele is 6'7". There are several guys who just do that as a profession who are
tall. I mean, the guy who plays Mike Myers.
Yeah.
They
Doug Tate,
Sabretooth, and
Doug Jones,
all the same. Yeah.
Yes, tall, thin guys.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking to bulk up some. I hope that doesn't hurt my creature acting career.
It depends on the creature.
Yeah, exactly. But so I was like, it would be really cool to be in this thing if I can. And sure enough, they had a role for me. It's a tiny role, but it was. I got my face on camera. It was fun.
Yeah.
And
now, were you doing? You said you donated and you were an executive producer credit in there, but were you working on it too with the effects stuff you know how to do? Or?
I was, yeah,
Okay.
a little bit. I didn't. That's a cool thing about Kickstarter things as opposed to like studio stuff is that with a studio movie, usually it's all very rigid and like, you know, we're spending this amount of money. We want to know that this is happening like this, and you can't touch this, and you can't touch this.
Yeah.
But it's like with the Kickstarter thing, it's like, okay, are you a competent, capable person? Yes. Okay, can you do this? Sure. All right, do that. So that's kind of how it worked. Like, I just showed up on set, and I was just there.
Yeah.
And I was like, so if you guys need anything, let me know. And I was just like, here are my hands. Put them wherever you need them.
Yeah.
And after having several people put my hands on their butts, I helped like
became the stage pimp.
Yeah, I helped puppeteer some stuff. I did some makeup. I just kind of did whatever needed to be done.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the experience. I just wanted to be
absolutely.
on set. Yeah, so I had a few lines as a human, and I also appear as in demon form for a minute, because that's the whole thing. It's like demons live among us.
Yeah, but they look like humans.
They look like humans, yeah. But demons see each other as demons, so it's
Yeah.
like you see the demons sometimes. So yeah, that was cool. I got to have my makeup done and got a big head and like arm extensions and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you, that started the ball rolling on everything else. Were you working on anything else while you were doing that, or were you... No, just that was your gig for the time then?
Yeah. I was basically like, you know, I had enough of that money left to just be like, I'm not going to work if I don't have to.
Well, the way you're talking about it now is like that you don't have any money left.
I don't. No, that is gone. I did...
But it got you from A to B with learning what you needed to learn and getting the degree you needed to get and all that good stuff, so that's good.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of backtracking a little bit because I'm curious about this myself.
Sure.
Frankenstein's monster, I got that. But was there something that you discovered on your own as you were getting older that helped point you into point you into a certain direction, or was that you just kind of absorb it all? Is that because you said you were in a metal band, or a?
I was,
Okay.
yeah. But again, that's kind of the whole metal band thing is like, I just wanted to play music.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like just being on set, like, what do you guys need?
Yeah.
You know, I've kind of just always had that attitude. Like, I know that not having one of those boring jobs is difficult. So I'm going to make myself available completely to all of the non-boring stuff that's happening.
Gotcha.
And I actually, in high school, the vocalist of the metal band and I hated each other. He was like my worst enemy. But after school, it was like, okay, you guys need a bassist?
I play bass.
Can we just be cool and like
Yeah.
make music? Okay, so that's what we did.
That's cool.
But I'm sorry, did that answer your question?
Yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
Here, the reason I ask the question most of the time is because I try and figure out if there was something that was like a turning point. Like, was there an album that you were like, holy shit, this changed my whole view on what the future is going to be for me, or I read this book and all of a sudden everything changed. Some people that doesn't, you don't get that. You don't ever have that. You just you discover little things here and there, and then as life goes on, you're like, oh well, I took a piece of this and I took a piece of that, and it made me.
Right.
Some people just have like the one cornerstone that like they're like, this is what changed my life.
Are you talking
I
about
always ask
the decision to make that turn into movies? Making
Yeah,
movies?
yeah. I mean, well, you kind of touched on that, but it seems like the seed has been growing from a very young age anyway. So
It has.
That's not the same as you discovering that seed at 13, but
Right.
this, like I said, it's been germinating that whole time. So
Well, I mean, it kind of was like that. It definitely has been, it's been there
yeah,
forever. Like it's been there forever. But I just living with Dustin in New Jersey, that whole time period is kind of what did it for me, because
Gotcha.
then it was my first real taste of freedom, like not living with any
Family.
kind of authority figure.
Yeah.
And having to respect the person that you're living with on your own level.
yeah,
And
That's funny.
But not being held down at all, and being able to do whatever we want in our free time, and
working in a strip club.
Well, that was not free time. That was work time. Which at first it was like, oh my god, I get to like go to work and see naked chicks every day, and then it was like, all right, more naked chicks today.
Same as the day before.
Got your ID? So, but no, that time period was like where I kind of not discovered, but where it really clicked that like we were watching a lot of movies, and watching these movies, for me, it wasn't just entertainment, it was intrigue.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, how do they do that? Like, or I know how they do that, and that's really cool. You know, so I'm thinking about the behind the scenes stuff all the time when I'm watching this stuff, and I'm thinking about the people making the movies, and I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I critique and they missed that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like how'd they get that shot, or like,
yeah,
you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why it's hard watching your own stuff a lot of times too, is because you're always like remembering I think I talked about that the other night with you, is I always remember or see the things that I missed or that I forgot, and everybody's like, man, this is good, why are you? No, I missed that damn thing.
Yeah, but then they know. They know once you tell
if you point it out,
don't tell
it's
them.
Stupid. Yeah,
Don't
exactly. All right, so you got this rolling, you're working toward that now. You're well, I guess this is a good place to bring up the social media aspect of everything too, because you know, you're branching out and putting, you know, you're making your presence known out there, because now you got the movie that came out that you were a part of. You've got people seeing your work, and you met people in the business, and you're you know, starting to get where you want to get with it, right?
Yeah, starting to.
So you've got an Instagram account, right?
Yep.
What's the
Johnny Leftwich?
Johnny Left, all one word.
Yep. That's another thing. When I decided to make the leap, in like, okay, I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna be Johnny Leftwich, makeup effects artist, and that's how it started. I wasn't like gonna pursue any kind of acting or anything.
Yeah.
But regardless, fact of the matter is, when I started my business, I spent like weeks trying to think of like what's a cool like business name. Like, I had all kinds of ideas, but none of them, I didn't like any of them. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just go with my name.
Yeah.
Like Leftwich FX. That's my company.
Yeah.
Because if you know my business, you know my name. If you know my name, you know my business. Yeah. It's like those
makes the most sense.
If I'm gonna be this guy, I'm gonna be this guy.
Yeah.
You know. So.
And it's a unique name.
Yeah.
Fairly unique, apparently. I think you said somebody's got the same.
There's one guy. God damn it. Like, okay. So once I decided to really secure all of the social media stuff, that's what I'm using, is my name.
Yeah.
And I got about half of what I wanted with just my name.
Yeah. Well, some of them it works better to do your full thing all one word, and some of it doesn't, so it really depends, but yeah.
And it's either, like, okay, so my Facebook fan page is /that Johnny Leftwich guy. Because /Johnny Leftwich
was probably taken.
Is some guy in Virginia, like an older fisherman dude, like definitely not me. That's the only upside to that, is that it is definitely not me.
Yeah,
and we'll know that immediately.
It's like, is that the guy? I think that's the guy. No. We met that guy. No, not the same guy.
Definitely not. But no, I've had people ask me if that's my real name, and I'm like, yeah. Like, I mean, it's John, John, but my dad always called me Johnny. Like, in elementary school, I was Johnny. In 4th grade, I decided that I was a man and that I needed to be called John. So from 4th through like high school, I went by John. But then that's another thing. After I made the decision to pursue a career in entertainment, I went back to Johnny.
Yeah.
Because it's.
But legally, it's just John.
Legally, it's John.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
John, not Jonathan. Not Jonathan.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with the name Jonathan.
Yeah, but that's not
just not my name.
That's not my name.
Yeah.
That's not my name.
That's not my name.
All right, so you've got that. You've got Twitter now too. Yeah, is that?
Twitter is at Johnny_Leftwich.
Okay, and then you said the Facebook thing. You got Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if they do a search for you, they're gonna find you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. I'm right now in the process. I just secured JohnnyLeftwich.com. So
not a phishing website.
Definitely not a fishing website. I might do that for like April Fools, just make it all like fishing and hunting stuff.
Is that Johnny Leftwich guy?
So yeah, I'm trying to like link all of my social media. So like on my Tumblr is
oh yeah, see, I don't have a Tumblr, so I don't even think to ask about that.
yeah, dude, I've been like, all right, what other social media sites can I have? So I have Pinterest, Tumblr. I even set up like a Swarm account. I don't even really know what that is.
I don't even know what that is either. I set up a Crackle thing a long time ago. Like
yeah.
And
is that like a social thing? I know it's you can watch.
It's
movies.
like videos. It's like a YouTube page.
Okay.
You have a YouTube page too,
yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I did that, and that's
Johnny
like,
Leftwich.
yeah, but no clue. Like I don't think I ever upload anything, and I just realized it the other day. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah, check me out on Crackle." I was like, "Shit, is that even a thing still?" They come and go, and some of them fall by the wayside. But you got to get it out there if that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So you're branding yourself. You're putting it all out there.
Yep.
What's the next thing? What's the newest thing?
The next thing is live in a van.
Well, I'm beating around the bush for the big question. Then is really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So after what was it? After school, I moved to LA. Then lived there for a while. Then moved to Colorado. Lived with my sister for a bit. I was makeup lead at 13th Floor Denver, where I met Evan Hedges. He and I worked together. He was on season 9 of Face Off. We worked together before he was on. And I actually auditioned for season 1 of Face Off. And I got to, like, this is when I was living in Colonial Heights.
Season 1 is in, like, 9 years ago?
Season 1. Well, it wasn't, I don't think
They don't do it by years, do they?
No, it's they do like 2 seasons a year, I think.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Or something like that. Like, I think because it premiered, I believe, in 2010.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't remember it being on that long, but
yeah.
I'm old and time means dick to me anymore. It's all screwed up.
It's all an illusion.
So.
Speaking of it's all an illusion, real quick, look up Nightmare Cabin. That's the class that I took with Steve Johnson from Page to Screen.
Yeah.
It was all about taking a story that he wrote and doing all the effects for it, and then making that short film at the end.
Oh wow!
And in which I played Death. I had this like big shroud and like.
I think I remember seeing pictures of you like that online.
Yeah. Which that was really fun. So Nightmare Cabin, Steve Johnson's Nightmare Cabin.
Okay.
Is the result of that. So. Anyway, back to this thing. Yeah, I auditioned for season 1. This is when I was living in Colonial Heights.
But you had already gone through the class and everything, right? Or
no? When I auditioned for season 1, that was after my first go around at school. Before I went.
When
back.
you failed.
When I failed.
Okay.
Yeah. But I still auditioned. I sent in my video, and they really liked me. And they flew me out to LA, put me up in a hotel for a few days.
Sweet.
Yeah. We got, free food, and I couldn't really leave my hotel room, but whatever, I wasn't really doing anything in Colonial Heights. So I made it to the very end. I made it into like the top 20 out of the, I think, 14 that they chose.
Gotcha.
And then at the end, didn't make it.
Gotcha.
So, all right, fair enough. And looking back on, like, when it happened, I was kind of like, oh, shit. Like, I was, like, a little butthurt about it. But now, I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah, because you got a lot more experience.
Totally.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I got way more experience. And the fact that they were even considering me that much.
Yeah, that's a major coup, at least.
Yeah, but it also shows their inexperience. At the time.
Yeah, season 1, I guess it would be, yeah.
So, I mean, they liked me.
Yeah.
But my work wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
And
that's funny.
So as
okay, so
as they as they did season after season, they got more experience. I got more experience doing what I was doing. I auditioned 3.5 times basically. Like one time I didn't.
Since then, you mean?
Go all the way through. No, total.
Oh, okay.
I auditioned for season 1, then 7. 1, 7, and then like half of 8, and then 10. And on 10, I made it. So I got on Face Off season 10, And yeah, that's where we are now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. So this will be one of many things as people start looking you up on as the show's airing now. That don't forget to add him on all of those things: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that shit.
And most importantly, Patreon.
Patreon. Let's say.
Yeah. Well, finish your thing.
No, that was it. I mean, now that it's airing and everything's rolling, you're gonna be hot commodity. You're gonna be getting fan letters and marriage proposals and
yeah, and
you'll be like a serial killer. Like
I'll marry anyone at any time. I'm fine with that.
You heard it here first, ladies.
Yeah. First
so
marriage proposal I get.
I'm gonna go ahead and dub over that. This is what says third. Say the word third, and I'll double it. And I'll dub it in later. No.
Third. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Right. So. Obviously, you can't talk about any of the stuff that happened with it because that's what we're getting ready to watch right now. But good experience, I'm imagining. You don't seem like a broken man or
not anymore.
Not anymore.
It was
still living in a van, but
well, not yet living in a van. That's a goal.
Oh, goal.
It's
gonna be a nice van. Is it gonna be a?
It is gonna be.
It's gonna be down by the river.
No, it's not. That's the thing, and I'll get into that.
Okay.
But the experience itself, I mean. I don't think I'm saying anything here that isn't common knowledge, or at least you can look it up in 2 seconds. If you actually no, it's part of the premise. We all live together in the same house.
Yeah.
During filming, and it's cool because it's like a nice big house.
Mm-hmm.
The kitchen is fully stocked. Go in there and eat however much you want, whatever you want. Like it. Covered, provided.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it's got a pool and like an outdoor covered patio. It's like a really nice place.
Is it all like regimented where it's like you have free time between here and here? You have.
Well, that's the thing. It's a very nice place and you can eat as much as you want for free. And swim in the pool and the hot tub. But
you're sequestered.
You are extremely sequestered. You can't walk around the block. Like, you can't leave the premises.
No.
You can't have your phone.
Yeah.
You don't have internet access.
Oh, wow.
TV is a commodity. And so and you can't have, like, pens, pencils, paint, any kind of art supplies, no sculpting, no...
Wow.
None of that. No reference, like, no pictures. It's
wow.
Yeah, it's very.
I mean, that makes sense. It makes sense for keeping it on, keeping everything equal and level and all that stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. But
and that's
you don't think about that when you're watching it. You think, oh yeah, they're being creative people and blah blah blah. But
right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. It's very crazy, and it kind of made me crazy. And so I was ready to go when I did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. In the same way that I see the pros and cons of being in the house, I see the pros and cons of being out of the house.
Yeah.
And being off the show.
Yeah.
And like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get my freedom.
Well, I mean, how long were you're sequestered for 2 or 3 months or something like?
Well, it depends on how long you make it.
Yeah.
But
you were there for a while though.
I was.
You can't talk.
Now we're getting into that territory.
Well, that's why I was trying to get away from it more. It was, when you're on it, that makes sense that you're locked away from it all. So
yeah.
We can leave it at that because I'm curious to see how it's unfolding.
Yeah.
As we're watching it now, but
so that's a little behind the scenes taste of
yeah.
this. Like,
but that's I would never have imagined. I guess if I sat down and thought about it, like what would level the playing field and all that, you'd think, okay, that's what you'd have to do. But until you say it, you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. But okay, so you've got that. You're gonna get more friends and followers and all this other good stuff. So you are moving toward more things.
Yep.
Keeping your eye on the prize.
Yep.
Do you think that? And this is a question I try and ask some people, but I don't always try and ask. For some people, it's a weird question, but for you, I guess it would make more sense. Do you think that people having that kind of access to you, like with Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, getting like to see the inside of everything? I mean, it's a normal thing now in this day and age.
Right. Yeah.
But do you think that sort of access to people hinders or helps certain things? Is that like because it varies from person to person, where they're like, well, I like my reflective time where I can be creative and not, have to share what I'm doing with everybody.
Right.
But then there's other people that go, well, I get inspiration from those people and I get this and I get that. How does it affect you? Is that...
Well, I don't know yet, really. Because,
Right.
I mean, I am at the point where I'm, like, accommodating that.
About to do it,
It's not really happening at the moment.
Yeah.
But when it does, I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you when I get there.
All right.
But I think,
How do you foresee, do you think?
I think it'll be cool because, I always have the option of just turning everything off.
True.
Like, I don't have to be involved in that if I don't want to.
True.
But being involved in that means that I get to connect with people. I get to, bounce my ideas off of a wide audience and see what comes back.
Yeah, and also, like with the Fire City thing, you have the potential to open up into more work.
Sure, exactly.
Because that's, yeah. So for somebody like you, I would say it's much more helpful than a hindrance.
Yeah,
It sounds
for
like
sure.
it would be, because social media and everything like that, there's not a lot of things that doesn't work its way into now. Like it's
free
everywhere.
promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's free promotion. I mean,
Yeah.
you do have to put some work into it, which sounds weird because, like, Facebook is like, oh, I'm going to fuck around on Facebook for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Or you can take the mindset that, like, all right, I'm targeting this type of person,
Yeah.
and I want to get them to my page so they see the stuff that I'm doing. And so it's all about how you market yourself and how you look at that. And I don't want to ever be disingenuous about who I am or what I want or what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's not like that kind of marketing. It's just like, how do I best connect with the audience that wants to connect with me?
Yeah.
And what can we both get out of that?
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of it. It's social.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a media that is social.
Exactly.
Hence the name.
Yeah.
All right, so kind of toward the end here now, but is there, obviously getting on the show is a big deal. Is there, separate from that, taking that aside, because that's what that's a lot of people that are watching this now are going to be searching for you because of that.
Right.
So setting that aside, what up until that point has been something you were most proud of? Was it the Fire City stuff? Is it something you've done on your own? Is it... I mean, just hearing your crystal ball story was awesome. I think that's amazingly great.
It's a pretty proud moment for me right there. Yeah, finishing school.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back and finishing school. And that is definitely the cherry on top of that crystal ball thing. Like I said, I barely graduated high school.
Yeah.
And it's because I hate math. I'm not good at, like, just doing things because I need to do them. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Because to me, I only have so much life.
Yeah.
So why am I right here, right now? And in high school, I was like, I'm not going to be a math teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only reason to learn the shit that you want me to learn is for me to be a math teacher, and that's not happening.
Yeah.
So, where was I going with that? I got a little riled up about math.
See what it does to his brain? It
God,
messes him up.
I can't think anymore.
No, I mean,
Interview over.
If that was, we're talking about your proudest moment, but
Yeah. Okay, going back and finishing.
Yeah, going back and finishing.
Yeah, I barely graduated high school, and here's how I did it. The school system in California goes by semester. You get credits per semester.
Okay.
The school system in Virginia goes by year.
Yeah.
You get credits per year. And so 2 semesters a year in California. In Virginia, no such thing as semesters. Year. And if you pass, there are semesters, but ultimately...
You have to pass all the way.
Yeah.
For it to count.
Yeah, so I passed one semester, failed the second semester, and got no credits for it.
I gotcha.
And then I was in California, and I was like about to fail high school, and because was like one credit short, like one math credit short.
Oh, jeez.
And then I was like, wait a minute, I think I can exploit this system. And so I went to my counselor and I was like, look, I passed this one class, this one semester in Virginia.
Yeah.
But because they go by year and not by semester, I didn't get the credit for it.
Yeah.
So can I just get that credit since here you guys go by semester? And they're like, yeah, I think we can do that.
You make a good
I
point.
was like, yes. Yes. Okay.
And he's never been able to measure out makeup or plaster
No,
or
I just kind of like
just dumping shit in buckets.
Yeah.
And that's how we learned that the math skills have failed him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, so that's good. I mean, that's what I figured. I was reluctant to ask the question, but I didn't know if maybe there was something I didn't touch on. Because I mean that story was. That's one of those things where when they do a biopic of you one day and they're some super tall guy is cast as you to play you as a young kid, walking up there with the crystal ball thing has got to be one of the highlight reel.
Yeah, that was a good
pretty
moment.
cool.
That was a good moment.
And I like the quote too, the Yogi Bear quote.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I always wrap up every interview with a dirty story. Your favorite dirty story.
Well, hold on. Before we get there.
Okay.
How long do I have to just say shit?
However long you want.
All right.
Yeah, there's no restrictions.
Give me 2 hours. All right. Well, I'll try to be quick, but I do want to mention that Patreon. So I have all the social media stuff. One of them is Patreon, and the cool thing about Patreon is that it's basically Kickstarter, but instead of for a project, it's just for a person. Yeah. So
oh yeah, with a name like that makes sense.
Yeah. So patrons can say, I set up an account. It's patreon.com/johnnyleftwich. You go on, and if you're interested in what I'm doing and you want to support my everything, you can send me $1 a month or $5 a month or 10 or whatever. And the same thing as Kickstarter, where there are certain perks to each level. And
what's the date with Johnny level?
50 cents. I don't care.
I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, like a bottle of Jack. So
I'll put a link to the Patreon thing on the video too. Yeah.
Cool, in the description.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That'd be very cool.
And I typically what I do is I link everything. I'll put the Twitter and the Instagram and all that stuff too.
You're gonna have to have a lot of.
It's gonna be a lot of fucking things, yeah.
But yeah. So the reason I'm harping on Patreon right now is because I think it's a really cool concept and a really cool idea.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it before. That's really cool.
And the fact that people are just donating their money to me is not lost on me, and so that's a charitable act. And so in return, I'll be donating half of everything that I make through Patreon to the Brain and Behavior Research Center in New York.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they are one of the leading mental illness awareness and
I was gonna say diagnosis, but treatment. Is it a treatment kind of thing?
What they do is they accept donations, which they then use to fund research into cures for mental illness.
Gotcha.
Cures and treatments for. So yeah, that's something that's important to me, and I think that if people are going to be supporting me that way, it would be cool for me to give back in a way that matters to me. So that's what
so a donation to your Patreon isn't just a donation to you.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I also encourage people to go to their website and donate directly.
Cool. Very cool. So story-wise, for something dirty.
God, I don't know.
Nothing from high school. Nothing from LA. Nothing from. I mean, since you've been everywhere, East and West Coast, it doesn't sound like you spent a lot of time in the plain states, but.
No, those are
things I pass over in the plane or drive through in the car.
I shit my pants in the woods once.
There you go. There's a story.
Not full on, it wasn't a full diaper load. But.
Well, now you have to elaborate. You have to give the backstory.
No, that's it. I'm just going to let you wonder.
I was just walking through the woods one day. Totally shit in the woods.
Okay, so yeah, I think it was in high school. I was with Dustin. We were exploring because there's nothing to do in Colonial Heights.
Yeah.
So we were just like, let's go walk through the woods. Okay. So we were like,
that's how Stand By Me started, isn't it?
yeah. Then we found a dead guy.
We shit on him.
And I was like, oh my god, and just pooped. But no, so we were just out in the woods, and I was like, that's crap. Like, and there's nothing, like, no toilets, and I could, like, I guess I could just poop, like, by a tree, but then what am I gonna wipe with? And it's just, it was a bad situation. So I'm like, okay, I have to hold it, and we need to get out of here right now. And so I did my best to make that happen. And it was just, like, I wasn't sick, my stomach wasn't being weird, it was just, nature was calling, and the phone was ringing off the hook, and I couldn't answer in time.
Oh shit, that's funny.
So
it was calling and I couldn't answer.
It, yeah, I pooped myself.
Rang off the hook,
yeah.
Literally.
Just a little bit.
Oh, that's funny.
Just enough so that when I got to the bathroom to relieve the situation, it wasn't really a relief. It was a new problem.
It's a whole different set of problems.
Yeah.
Now, did Dustin know this was going on, or did you keep it to yourself?
I don't know if I told him.
I'm sure. Well, he had to have known after the fact, right?
Well,
or is this?
I think so.
Did you just release this story to the world for the first time?
This is definitely the first broadcasting of the story. But I don't think I could have played it cool enough, really, to keep that from him.
That's hilarious.
Because it was an issue. Like, there was an issue at the time. I wasn't okay with the world at that moment.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming out and doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward to seeing all the fun stuff you got to create, because that's, I mean, I've been doing that for a while on social media already anyway, so to see it on the TV is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So, good luck, and thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Yeah.